The city never slept. Neon lights flickered incessantly against the dark velvet sky, casting vibrant reflections on the rain-slicked streets below. Towering skyscrapers pierced the clouds, their glass facades shimmering with advertisements that danced and morphed in hypnotic patterns. Among these giants, the underbelly thrived, a labyrinth of narrow alleyways, abandoned buildings, and shadowy figures moving with purpose in the night. Alex Mercer perched atop one such skyscraper, his silhouette blending seamlessly with the night. His enhanced vision swept across the metropolis, eyes scanning for any sign of movement. Every sense was heightened, every reflex sharpened, a necessity for someone in his line of work. As a bounty hunter, Alex had a reputation for being relentless, almost inhuman in his efficiency. But tonight was different. Tonight, something felt off. With a fluid motion, Alex launched himself into action, legs extending with spider-like agility as he swung, using his web shooters from one building to another. The wind whooshed past him, a familiar thrill coursing through his veins. He relished these moments, the adrenaline, the precision, the sheer control over his environment. It was what made him the best. Below, the target moved cautiously through the alley. Victor Kane, a cybercriminal notorious for his elaborate heists and elusive nature, had been on Alex's radar for weeks. Tonight, the intel suggested, Victor would make his move. And Alex was determined not to let him slip away again. Mid-swing, Alex felt a sudden tug on his web. He glanced down to see the strand snapping violently, sending him spiraling toward the rooftop. For a split second, panic flickered in his mind, a sensation he rarely experienced. But his training kicked in. With a swift twist, he regained control, stabilizing himself and continuing the pursuit with renewed focus. Landing gracefully on the rooftop, Alex assessed the situation. The alley below was a maze, but Victor was cunning. He needed to anticipate his next move. Using his heightened senses, Alex picked up the faintest traces of movement, the subtle shifts in the environment that only someone like him could detect. As he descended into the alley, the city's noises became a symphony to his ears, the distant hum of traffic, the occasional shout, the drip of water from a leaky pipe. Each sound provided information, each shadow a potential threat or opportunity. Alex moved with silent precision, every step calculated, every breath controlled. Suddenly, a loud crash echoed from around the corner. Alex tensed, muscles coiled for action. Victor had set a trap. Moving swiftly, Alex approached the source of the noise, eyes darting to cover every angle. He reached a dead end, a narrow space between two buildings. Before he could react, a net of reinforced webbing shot out from hidden panels, enveloping him in seconds. He struggled, but the web was too strong, binding him tightly. "Impressive, Mercer," a voice echoed from the darkness. Victor stepped forward, a smirk playing on his lips. "Didn't think you'd catch me that easily, did you?" Alex glared, trying to find a weak point in the web. "Cut the games, Kane. You're coming with me." Victor chuckled, moving with surprising agility despite the confined space. "You think it's that simple? You're not the only one with spider abilities, you know." Before Alex could respond, the lights flickered, and a series of explosions rocked the area. The webbing weakened, and Alex broke free, retaliating with a volley of his own webs. The two clashed in a dance of silk and strategy, each move countered by the other. The rooftop became a battleground, high above the city that never slept. In the chaos, Victor activated a device in his hand, a compact EMP grenade. "Time to end this," he declared, hurling it toward Alex. Instinctively, Alex dodged, but the blast hit the surrounding area, disabling his web shooters and other electronic enhancements. The sudden loss of power left him vulnerable, relying solely on his natural abilities. Victor seized the moment, launching himself toward Alex with a ferocious energy. They grappled, the fight turning personal. Amidst the struggle, Victor delivered a swift kick, sending Alex sprawling backward. As the dust settled, Victor stood over him, breathing heavily. "You see? Even without your gadgets, I can still beat you." But Alex wasn't done. Drawing on his inner strength, he tapped into his primal instincts. With a burst of speed, he launched himself at Victor, overpowering him with sheer force. The fight reached its peak as both combatants, exhausted and battered, faced each other on the edge of the rooftop. Before either could land a decisive blow, sirens wailed in the distance. The authorities were closing in. Realizing the impending threat, Victor made a desperate move, using his last ounce of strength to activate another device. A flash blinded Alex, and the world seemed to spin out of control. When his vision cleared, Victor was gone, leaving behind only the remnants of his web and a lingering sense of unfinished business. Alex stood alone, the weight of the encounter heavy on his shoulders. This wasn't just another bounty, it was a sign that his world was about to change in ways he couldn't yet comprehend. As he made his way back to his hideout, Alex couldn't shake the feeling that Victor was more than just a target. There was something familiar about him, a connection that went beyond their shared abilities. Little did Alex know, this was only the beginning of a journey that would challenge everything he thought he knew about himself and the world he navigated. Alex Mercer was no stranger to the night. His life as a bounty hunter had taken him to the darkest corners of the city, places where most people feared to tread. The genetic enhancements that gave him spider-like abilities were both a blessing and a curse, granting him unparalleled agility and strength, but also binding him to a life of relentless pursuit and isolation. His hideout was a modest loft situated in the heart of the metropolis, a stark contrast to the high-tech chaos outside. The room was sparsely furnished, equipped with advanced monitoring systems and a wall covered in files and holographic displays detailing his past captures. It was his sanctuary, a place where he could decompress and strategize his next move. Tonight, however, the usual calm was disrupted by an unexpected message flashing on his primary screen. It was an encrypted briefing, marked with the official seal of the Genetic Enhancement Task Force, a government agency shrouded in secrecy. Alex hesitated before accessing the file, a sense of unease settling over him. The message was brief but clear: mission assignment, capture or eliminate Maya Lee. Priority level, critical. Alex frowned, unfamiliar with the name Maya Lee. A quick search through his database yielded minimal information. According to official records, Maya was another genetically modified individual, her abilities mirroring his own. Unlike his previous targets, she wasn't a known criminal, raising more questions than answers. He leaned back, contemplating the assignment. Government operations rarely went directly to him without a reason. Perhaps Maya posed a new threat, or maybe there were ulterior motives at play. Either way, Alex knew he couldn't turn down a mission from the task force. Compliance was part of his contract, a binding agreement that ensured his abilities were utilized for the agency's interests. Determined to gather more intel, Alex began to analyze the data provided. Maya Lee was described as highly intelligent, resourceful, and dangerous, attributes that suggested she was more than just another target. Her last known location was an abandoned amusement park on the outskirts of the city, a place perfect for clandestine activities. As dawn approached, the city began to wake, the neon lights dimming as natural light took over. Alex prepared for the mission, ensuring his web shooters were fully charged and his gear was in optimal condition. Every tool he possessed had a purpose, every enhancement a strategic advantage. Driving through the city in his sleek, black vehicle, Alex reflected on his path. He had once been part of a select group chosen for genetic modification, a program intended to create the perfect soldier. But disillusionment had led him to leave that life behind, opting instead for the role of a bounty hunter. It was a solitary existence, one that afforded him freedom but also deepened his sense of isolation. The amusement park loomed in the distance, its once vibrant attractions now silent and decaying. The Ferris wheel stood as a hollow giant against the horizon, its cars long abandoned. Alex parked his vehicle and made his way on foot, the ground beneath his feet soft from recent rain. The entrance to the park was barricaded, but Alex's abilities allowed him to bypass most obstacles with ease. Using his web shooters, he scaled the fence, landing silently on the other side. The air was thick with the scent of rust and decay, broken only by the occasional drip of water from a broken ride. As he navigated the familiar yet eerie landscape, memories of his own past surfaced. The genetic experiments, the loss of identity, the constant surveillance, it all echoed in the hollow structures around him. But there was no time for reflection. He was here on a mission, and failure was not an option. Reaching the central area of the park, Alex noticed signs of recent activity: fresh footprints in the mud, discarded items that suggested someone had been living here temporarily. His pulse quickened. Maya Lee was closer than he thought. Suddenly, a movement caught his eye. From behind a dilapidated carousel, a figure emerged, graceful and poised. Maya Lee. She was striking, her presence commanding even in the desolate environment. Her eyes met his, a mixture of defiance and determination burning within them. "Alex Mercer," she called out, her voice echoing slightly in the open space. "I was wondering when you'd show up." Alex approached cautiously, every sense on high alert. "Maya Lee. The government wants you eliminated. Why are you hiding here?" Maya smirked, stepping into the open. "Eliminated? No, Alex. They want control. They want to use us like puppets. But I won't let that happen." Before Alex could respond, Maya moved with lightning speed, launching a web toward him. It was a test, a challenge. He dodged effortlessly, countering with his own webbing to try and restrain her. The two clashed, their abilities on full display as they engaged in a strategic duel amidst the remnants of forgotten joyrides. As they fought, Alex began to understand that Maya was no ordinary target. Her skills were matched his own, perhaps even surpassing them in certain aspects. There was a depth to her actions that hinted at a larger plan, one that went beyond mere survival. Breathing heavily, Maya paused, her expression softening slightly. "You don't have to do this, Alex. There's more to our story than them making us weapons." Alex hesitated, the truth of her words resonating within him. "What do you know about us?" Before she could answer, the distant sound of sirens pierced the night. "We don't have much time," Maya urged. "The task force isn't far behind. They won't hesitate to finish what they started." Together, they fought off the incoming agents, using their combined abilities to create a symphony of webs and agile maneuvers. As the last of the agents retreated, Alex and Maya stood amidst the chaos, breathing heavily but alive. Maya looked at him with a mixture of hope and determination. "We need to find out who they really are and why they did this to us. There are others like us, Alex. People who deserve to live free, not as tools for some twisted agenda." Alex nodded slowly, the pieces of the puzzle beginning to fit together. "All right. Let's uncover the truth together." As they made their way out of the abandoned amusement park, a newfound alliance formed between them. The city's lights guided their path, each step bringing them closer to answers and deeper into the web of secrets that bound their fates together. Alex and Maya moved swiftly through the shadowed streets, their footsteps barely making a sound on the damp pavement. The city, with all its glaring lights and constant motion, seemed oblivious to their existence, allowing them a fleeting sense of anonymity. They knew they couldn't stay in one place for long. The task force would be scouring the area, looking for any sign of their escape. As they navigated through the maze of alleyways, Maya glanced over at Alex. "We need to find a safe place to regroup and plan our next move. Somewhere we can dig deeper into who they are and why they did this to us." Alex nodded, his mind already racing through possible locations. "I have a contact who owes me a favor. They run an old warehouse down by the docks. It's been abandoned for years, but it should provide the cover we need." The docks were a world apart from the bustling city center, a desolate expanse where the remnants of forgotten ships and decaying infrastructure stood as silent witnesses to a bygone era. The air was thick with the salty tang of the sea, and the distant sound of waves crashing against the shore provided a haunting backdrop to their mission. Upon reaching the warehouse, Alex used his web shooters to silently disable the lock, the mechanism clicking softly as the door swung open. Inside, the space was vast and empty, save for a few scattered crates and the faint echo of their footsteps. It was the perfect hideout, isolated yet accessible, with plenty of room to set up their base of operations. "We should set up a temporary base here," Alex suggested, his eyes scanning the room for any signs of unwanted attention. "We can secure the perimeter and make sure no one follows us." Maya agreed, already moving with practiced efficiency to assess the space. "I'll start setting up our equipment. We need to access the task force's databases to find out more about the genetic program and anyone else involved." Alex pulled out his portable device, a compact yet powerful tool capable of hacking into most secure systems. "I've got the tech covered. Let's get to work." Hours passed as they meticulously transformed the warehouse into a command center. Holographic displays flickered to life, showing maps, data streams, and surveillance feeds. Maya's fingers danced across the virtual interfaces, extracting and analyzing information at a rapid pace. "Here," Maya said, pointing to a particular document that had surfaced in the data. "This is what we're looking for. It's a report on the genetic enhancement program, codenamed Project Arachnid. It details the creation of enhanced individuals like us and outlines their intended uses." Alex leaned in, reading over her shoulder. "Project Arachnid. So, we're not the only ones. There must be others out there." Maya nodded, her expression serious. "Exactly. And it doesn't stop there. The report mentions ongoing experiments and the development of more advanced enhancements. Dr. Evelyn Shaw is the lead scientist behind this project. She's the one orchestrating everything." Alex felt a surge of anger at the mention of Dr. Shaw's name. "We need to find her. She's the key to unraveling this whole operation." Maya tapped a few commands into the interface, bringing up Dr. Shaw's profile. "She's been elusive, but there are reports of her moving between different facilities around the city. We need to track her movements and find out her next move." As they delved deeper into the data, they uncovered unsettling information about the extent of the genetic experiments. The task force had been creating a new breed of soldiers, each enhanced with unique abilities inspired by different creatures. Their goal was to build an unstoppable force, loyal only to them, to enforce their version of order on the city. "This is more than just a bounty program," Alex mused. "They're building an army. And we're part of it." Maya's eyes hardened with determination. "We can't let that happen. We need to expose them, bring their operations to light, and free everyone else who's been trapped in this nightmare." Their plan began to take shape. First, they needed to gather evidence of the task force's activities, then find allies among other enhanced individuals who might be willing to join their cause. But time was of the essence. The longer they stayed hidden, the more time Dr. Shaw and her team had to tighten their grip on the city. As night gave way to the early hours of the morning, the first hints of dawn began to seep through the cracks of the warehouse. Exhausted but resolute, Alex and Maya took a moment to catch their breath. "We need to move fast," Alex said, his voice tinged with urgency. "Every minute counts." Maya nodded, her resolve unshaken. "Agreed. Let's start by locating Dr. Shaw's next target. If we can anticipate her moves, we can stay one step ahead." Their investigation led them to a high-security research facility on the outskirts of the city, a place heavily guarded and fortified against any intrusion. According to the data, Dr. Shaw was planning a major breakthrough, a new enhancement that would surpass anything previously developed. This device, once activated, could exponentially increase the abilities of enhanced individuals, making them nearly invincible. "This is it," Alex said, his eyes narrowing. "We need to get inside, find out what she's up to, and stop her before it's too late." Maya studied the blueprints of the facility, identifying potential entry points and security measures. "It's going to be tough. The place is crawling with guards and advanced surveillance systems. But with our abilities, we might have a chance." They spent the next few days meticulously planning their infiltration, studying guard patterns, hacking into security feeds, and preparing the necessary tools. The closer they got to their target, the more dangerous the mission became, but their determination never wavered. Finally, the day arrived. Under the cover of darkness, Alex and Maya made their way to the research facility. The air was thick with tension as they approached the heavily guarded perimeter. Using their web shooters, they scaled the outer walls, moving silently like shadows against the night. Once inside, they navigated through the labyrinthine corridors, avoiding patrols and disabling security measures with precision. The facility was a marvel of modern technology, with sleek lines and sterile environments that contrasted sharply with the chaos of the city outside. They reached the main lab, the heart of the operation, where Dr. Shaw was orchestrating the final stages of Project Arachnid. Rows of enhanced individuals stood at attention, their eyes devoid of any spark of free will, completely under Shaw's control. Dr. Shaw stood at the center of the room, overseeing the activation of a massive device, a generator pulsating with energy, surrounded by intricate machinery and glowing screens. "The culmination of our efforts," she declared, her voice echoing through the chamber. "With this, we will create the ultimate defenders of our city, loyal and powerful beyond imagination." Alex felt a surge of rage. "You're enslaving them, Shaw. This ends now." Dr. Shaw turned, her eyes gleaming with a mixture of pride and madness. "You're too late, Mercer. The final phase has already begun. Soon, we will have an army that can control the very fabric of this city." Before Alex could react, Maya stepped forward, her presence a beacon of defiance. "Not if we stop you first." A fierce battle erupted, the clash of enhanced abilities lighting up the sterile lab with flashes of energy and bursts of webbing. Alex moved with calculated precision, his spider-like agility allowing him to dodge and counter Shaw's attacks effortlessly. Maya complemented his movements, her own abilities weaving a deadly dance of offense and defense. Dr. Shaw activated the device, and a wave of energy surged through the room, targeting the enhanced individuals. They began to convulse, their eyes glazing over as the device took control. Alex and Maya fought desperately to reach the core of the machine, knowing that disabling it was the only way to free the captives, hold her off. Alex shouted, seeing Maya being overwhelmed by the energy wave. "I've got this," Maya replied, her determination unwavering. "You go to the core. I'll distract Shaw." Alex hesitated, not wanting to leave Maya vulnerable, but he knew the mission's success depended on it. With a nod, he sprinted toward the device, weaving through the chaos with unmatched speed. Maya engaged Dr. Shaw, their battle intensifying as webs clashed with technological defenses. Reaching the core, Alex quickly assessed the situation. The device was a complex amalgamation of circuitry and organic matter, pulsating with a menacing energy. He could see the central control panel, its interface glowing ominously. "Almost there," he muttered, fingers flying over the controls, attempting to override the system. Suddenly, a powerful force knocked him off his feet. Dr. Shaw stood before him, a sinister smile on her face. "You think you can stop progress with brute force? You're merely delaying the inevitable." Alex gritted his teeth, struggling to stay conscious. "I won't let you turn people into your puppets." With a final surge of effort, he managed to breach the control panel, initiating a shutdown sequence. The device began to power down, the energy waves dissipating as the enhanced individuals started to regain their senses. Dr. Shaw's expression shifted from smug confidence to sheer panic. "No," she screamed, lunging at Alex with renewed fury. "You can't undo what we've started." Before she could reach him, Maya reappeared, her webbing binding Shaw tightly. "It's over, Shaw. Your vision ends here." With a swift motion, Alex triggered the final phase of the shutdown, and the device came to a complete halt. The enhanced individuals collapsed, their eyes clearing as they regained their free will. The room fell silent, the weight of their actions hanging heavily in the air. Dr. Shaw struggled against her restraints, her face contorted with rage and disbelief. "You may have won today, but there are others who will continue my work." This is just the beginning. Alex approached her, his expression cold and resolute. Not if we have anything to say about it. The city deserves better than this twisted experiment. Maya joined him, her eyes meeting his with a shared sense of purpose. We need to expose the task force and bring an end to Project Arachnid once and for all. As they secured Dr. Shaw for interrogation, Alex felt a sense of accomplishment tempered by the realization of the battle still ahead. They had dealt a significant blow to the task force, but the shadowy organization was vast and deeply entrenched. Over the next few days, Alex and Maya worked tirelessly to gather evidence and communicate with other enhanced individuals who had been affected by the program. They formed a coalition, a network of allies united by their desire for freedom and justice. Together, they began to dismantle the remnants of Project Arachnid, ensuring that no further unethical experiments could be conducted. However, their victory was short-lived. As they continued their efforts, they discovered that Dr. Shaw had indeed reached out to other scientists and operatives, hinting at the existence of even more advanced projects beyond their current knowledge. The revelation sent a chill down their spines. Project Arachnid was only a fragment of a larger, more sinister plan. Determined not to let Shaw's ambitions come to fruition, Alex and Maya intensified their mission. They traveled across the city, infiltrating hidden facilities, freeing more enhanced individuals, and gathering crucial intel. Each victory brought them closer to uncovering the full extent of the task force's operations, but also heightened the dangers they faced. One evening, as they returned to their warehouse base, they found a message waiting for them, an encrypted communication from Marcus Turner. It was a risky move, as Marcus had previously been revealed as a traitor working for Dr. Shaw, but Alex knew there was more to the story. Decoding the message, they discovered that Marcus had staged his betrayal to gain Shaw's trust, all while secretly working to undermine her from within. He provided them with information about a secret facility where the task force was developing a new generation of enhanced soldiers, codenamed Project Chimera. This changes everything, Maya said, her voice tinged with urgency. If Project Chimera is successful, we could be facing an army of unstoppable super soldiers. Alex nodded, the gravity of their situation settling in. We need to act fast. If we don't stop them now, there will be no stopping them later. With Marcus's guidance, they devised a plan to infiltrate the secret facility, disable the project, and capture the key scientists involved. It was a high-risk mission, but failure was not an option. The future of the city and perhaps the world depended on their success. The night of the operation arrived, and Alex, Maya, and their allies prepared themselves for the confrontation ahead. They donned their gear, ensuring their web shooters and enhancements were fully operational. The air was thick with tension as they approached the heavily fortified facility, a towering structure surrounded by layers of security measures. Using their combined abilities, they bypassed the outer defenses, moving silently through the shadows. Alex led the way, his enhanced senses detecting even the slightest disturbances, while Maya provided support, her webbing creating diversions and neutralizing threats with precision. Inside, the facility was a hive of activity, with scientists and operatives working tirelessly on the latest advancements in genetic enhancements. The team split into groups, each assigned a specific task to maximize their efficiency. Alex and Maya moved towards the central lab, where Project Chimera was being developed. As they navigated the corridors, they encountered resistance guards and enhanced soldiers programmed to stop intruders. But the team's coordination and individual abilities allowed them to overcome each obstacle with minimal casualties. The mission was progressing smoothly, but they knew that the final confrontation awaited them. Reaching the central lab, they found Dr. Shaw once again, overseeing the final stages of Project Chimera. The room was filled with advanced machinery and the eerie glow of experimental devices. At the center stood a massive containment unit, within which a figure lay, another enhanced individual, their eyes closed in a state of forced compliance. Dr. Shaw turned, a triumphant smile on her face. Welcome, Mercer. Just in time to witness the next evolution of our work. Alex stepped forward, his voice firm. This ends now, Shaw. You've caused enough suffering. Dr. Shaw laughed, a cold, hollow sound. You really believe you can stop progress? These enhancements are the future. With Project Chimera, we will create an army that can protect and enforce peace like nothing the world has ever seen. Maya stepped beside Alex, her determination unwavering. At what cost? You're turning people into weapons, stripping them of their free will. This isn't protection, it's tyranny. Dr. Shaw's expression hardened. You don't understand the bigger picture. This city is on the brink of chaos. Only with enhanced individuals can we maintain order and ensure its survival. Before Shaw could respond, the team launched their attack. Enhanced soldiers swarmed the room, engaging in a fierce battle. Alex and Maya fought side by side, their coordination seamless as they took down enemy after enemy. The air was thick with tension and the sounds of conflict, but their focus remained unbroken. Amidst the chaos, Alex and Maya made their way to the containment unit, where the enhanced individual lay. Alex began working on the locking mechanism, while Maya provided cover, her webs neutralizing any threats that approached. We need to free them, Alex said, his hands moving swiftly over the controls. They might have information that can help us. Maya nodded, keeping a vigilant watch. Do it. Every ally counts. With a final click, the containment unit opened, and the enhanced individual slowly rose, their eyes clearing as they regained their senses. Who are you? Alex asked, extending a hand in friendship. The individual hesitated, then took his hand. I'm Ethan. I was part of Project Chimera before they turned me into a weapon. I've been waiting for a chance to break free. Welcome to the team, Ethan, Maya said, a hint of relief in her voice. We need all the help we can get. Dr. Shaw, realizing her plan was falling apart, attempted to activate another device, but Alex was quicker, disabling it with a well-placed web shot. No more experiments, Shaw. You're done. As the last of the enhanced soldiers fell, Dr. Shaw found herself surrounded. Her facade crumbled as she realized the futility of her efforts. You may have won this battle, but the war is far from over. Alex approached her, his gaze unwavering. Not as long as we're here to stop you. With their mission complete, the team began the process of securing the facility, ensuring that no further experiments could be conducted. They gathered all available data, evidence of the task force's operations, and prepared to expose the truth to the world. In the days that followed, Alex, Maya, Ethan, and their allies worked tirelessly to disseminate the information they had uncovered. Using encrypted channels and secure networks, they leaked the evidence to trusted journalists and activist groups, sparking public outrage and demanding accountability from the government. The revelation of Project Arachnid and Project Chimera sent shockwaves through the city. Protests erupted in the streets, demanding the shutdown of the task force and the release of all enhanced individuals. The public's reaction was swift and unforgiving, forcing the government to respond to the mounting pressure. Under immense scrutiny, the task force was disbanded, and key figures involved in the unethical experiments were arrested and brought to justice. Dr. Evelyn Shaw faced trial for her crimes, her once ironclad reputation shattered by the truth that Alex and his team had unveiled. With the task force dismantled, Alex and Maya turned their attention to rebuilding the lives of those affected by the genetic enhancements. They established support networks, offering guidance and protection to enhanced individuals who sought freedom from their imposed roles. Ethan, now an integral part of the team, used his knowledge and experience to help others adapt to their newfound autonomy. Together, they formed a community bound by shared experiences and a common goal, ensuring that no one else would fall victim to the same fate. As the city began to heal from the scars of the past, Alex found himself reflecting on the journey that had brought him here. From a solitary bounty hunter to a leader of a burgeoning movement, his perspective had shifted dramatically. The bonds he had formed with Maya, Ethan, and others had given him a sense of purpose he had never known before. One evening, as the sun set over the skyline, casting a warm glow across the city, Alex and Maya stood atop a rooftop, looking out over the landscape they had fought so hard to protect. We did it, Maya said softly, a hint of pride in her voice. We actually did it. Alex nodded, a rare smile tugging at the corners of his mouth. This is just the beginning, though. There are still so many questions to answer and challenges to face. But together, we can handle anything. Maya reached out, taking his hand in hers. Together. As they stood there, united by their struggles and triumphs, the city below them thrummed with the promise of a brighter future. The webs they had woven, both literal and metaphorical, symbolized the interconnectedness of their lives and the strength they drew from one another. In the distance, the first signs of dawn appeared, signaling a new day filled with hope and endless possibilities. Alex felt a renewed sense of determination, knowing that no matter what obstacles lay ahead, he and Maya would face them side by side. Their journey had transformed them from mere survivors into protectors of a city yearning for redemption. And as the light of a new day broke over the horizon, they embraced their roles not just as hunters and targets, but as heroes shaping the destiny of their world.